Hello and welcome back to another event video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. Today we're here over in Miketo's Amphitheater, or next to it, in New Gridania. Obviously we're over in the Old Gridania section because it's Valentiones Day, or at least the start of this event on today, the 1st of February 2023. And of course, if you want to take part in this event, you can come over here to Miketo's Amphitheater, and there's a quest a level 15 and above called Suited for Affection. Of course, to get to this and to be eligible, you need to have first completed the level 15 quest line in the MSQ, which allows you to travel to different parts of the world via airship. So if you're a new player to the game, make sure you do that first. We're not going to look at the storyline at all today. We're going to reserve that for you to enjoy because the cutscenes are always vastly entertaining. The first thing I want to point out though before we go and pick up the quest is if you come over to the Purveyor of Love over here, which is just here on the map. Look, there's the Aetheryte, there's the quest just outside of the gate to your right, or I guess left depending on your orientation. You'll find this House of Valentiones Maid. If you click on them, you will find new items specifically for the event. This includes the Valentiones Dangers, which is the /eat chocolate emote, so certainly don't miss that, for 2,500 gil. And there's also the Valentiones Heart Desk for 2,000 gil, which is this year's seasonal furnishing. It's a really good idea to get probably a couple of the Valentiones Heart Desks. I say this because you might want to place them in your retainers for storage or whatever, because usually the items that are added to an event will be added to the cash shop a year later. So next Valentiones event next year will likely have these on the cash shop for sale. So if you want to get these for free, definitely log in, get those for 2,000 gil a pop, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a couple of those and put them in my storage. So let's go over to the quest. Now we know where the vendor is and all of that stuff, and we'll look at those items in a little bit. But yeah, so if you come over here, it's called Suited for Affection, and as you can see, the reward will be the Frilled Emissary's Attire Coffer. Now this coffer will be locked to your gender, okay? So whatever gender you open this coffer on will be locked to that gender. It is a gender locked outfit. We're going to look at both of the gender locked outfits today, so don't worry too much about that. But obviously on this character we're going to get the female one because that's what she is. So without further ado, let's skip the cutscene, you know, in the context for this. Don't skip this, enjoy the storyline, and yeah, let's see what happens. And just like that, fantastically heartwarming and quite interesting cutscene is over, and the series of little cutscenes as well. And we get ourselves the Frilled Emissary's Attire Coffer. Of course, we would have to come back on our alt or something, but it's a male character to be able to see the other one. So we're going to do that for the later preview. It says you have access to the Valentiones Ceremony Seasonal Instance. To enter the venue, speak to the House Valentiones servant at Miketo's Amphitheater. The Valentiones Ceremony is an instance designed for a party of 2. There are no class, job, or level requirements. So this is the bonus thing. I don't know if you've ever done this, but essentially, additionally to the title and the Glamour award that's just filled my inventory, there is also the ability to go into that instance. So like in previous years, there used to be like Valentiones cookies or whatever that you would collect and use as currency for the items, like the actual rewards that we just went to a vendor and purchased. So if you wanted to do that, it's quite a fun little thing. If if you have a partner or whatever, if you go and queue up here, you can basically go and undertake a few light-hearted trials to see your bond, and it gives you a percentage. It's a cool thing. It's nice to see it make a return, but again, without any real like currency rewards or anything. You know, it doesn't serve a major purpose other than just being there for people to enjoy, right? That's it. So if you've talked to the vendor and you've done the quests, then essentially you will have a table, an emote, and the attire coffer. So let's have a look at all of this stuff together. All right, here we are back at my house because we're going to look at the furnishing item in a second, but let's have a look at this emote. So I've learned that one. And I believe it's just on the general tab, because that's where these all sit. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you. And as you can see, there's plenty of other eat emotes in the game. Pumpkin, apple, breakfast, rice ball, eat egg, and the eat chocolate one is no different. It is literally just your character biting into a nice chocky. In fact, it shares the exact same animation, for example, as the eat egg, rice ball, and all the rest of them. There's no real difference. There's no defamation to the product either. So that's not added into this. There's nothing too crazy about that, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a nice, simple emote that, you know, they didn't have to add to the game, but I'm glad that they did. It's just another variation. And what we could call this then is a reskin of an emote. I mean, that's the first time probably I've ever decided to use that term, but it's true, isn't it? But as you can see from the chocolate itself, it probably says something like Valentiones on it, or something with a V there, Venus chocolate. I don't know what that says. It does look very delicious. Imagine if they still did chocolate that thick in the real world. Holy moly. I remember when chocolate used to be that thick by default, where you could bite the chocolate off the side of a club biscuit. Anyway, as we're getting slightly sidetracked, let's look at the outfit next. After the housing item, actually. Alright, here we are in the FC house, so let's look at this. I've cleared one spot exactly. We are stumbling around with very few housing slots at the moment. We need to redesign things a little bit. Let's look at the Valentiones heart desk. It says a heart-shaped table crafted to commemorate the celebration of love. That is Valentiones Day. So let's plop this down. We briefly had a look at this on the, the dev blog, and I was very, very impressed with it then. But this looks even better in person, doesn't it? So let's come out of those menus so we can hop around on this. Obviously, we've got some nice collision detection. I do like the shape of this, a heart-shaped desk. These things exist in real life. I mean, if you've ever wondered if anybody has made a heart-shaped desk, they were quite popular. I can't remember when, but they were quite popular. A lot of people went through like a phase of having these. I remember it was like heart-shaped countertops and heart-shaped like dresser tables and things. And the best thing about it is, if we sit down, you'll notice that they've even got heart-shaped, carved sections on the leg. I forget what that's called. The wood engraving, basically. And also they're quite curved, aren't they? Those feet, those legs, those table legs. I do like this. It looks really nice. I don't know where we're going to place this. Just for scale, there's a Emote. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. I always complain about the size of things based on the impact they have on your housing slots. And I don't really like it when they add lots of small things, you know what I mean? I like them to be sizable for what you place in your house. Quick dye furnishing colors then, because I'm also very interested about this. Oop. So it dyes as plainly as you can possibly imagine with the wood grain effects. The legs remained with this sort of like gilt, almost copper or gold inlay inside the carve section of the heart. So that stands out quite nicely from a distance. And of course, the top is the same. Yeah, it's exactly what you would want. You can have a nice black heart with the gold. That looks really nice, doesn't it? What does ruby red look like? Oh, that's fantastic. Slightly pitted because of the wood grain effect, but that's quite nice. Pink, obviously. Glamour, yeah. And a nice variety of different wood grain colours on the brown section there. Yeah, all in all, I'm quite pleased with how it looks, how it dyes, and I'm sure we'll have room for this somewhere when I eventually figure out where. Anyway, let's move on to the outfit. Okay, here we are then in our beautiful new outfit for our female characters. First of all, we'll have a look at the male one in just a second. Over here in my favourite place to record now, which is actually inside the Grand Cosmos on Explorer mode, because it's always the same time of day and is always daytime. So we get a nice, good reflection of real daylight of what things look like on outfits. I think that's probably one of the best and key things really for this. So the things that stand out the most from this, obviously with my slight change pose being a bit slanted, my hands are clipping. This is something we're used to with characters, especially female characters, with, you know, dresses of any kind. Of course, we can change where our hands are, but at the end of the day, we're going to get quite a bit of clipping. But it's one of those things, right? We can put our hands above our head. I suppose that works, doesn't it? So let's have a look at this outfit then. This is a 4-piece outfit, so you'll be surprised by that. There are no gloves associated with it. I was quite surprised at this. I thought there would be gloves, but yeah, but that's not a big deal. We've got plenty of really good looking gloves in the game. So of course we've got the dress hat in this case, the ruffled dress, we have the emissary's culottes, and we have the dress boots. Just so you know what the culottes actually look like, here you go, because I'm sure some people will be like, what do they look like on their own? And there you go. They do have this beautiful tights. The tights have a beautiful outline design. Let's turn off depth of field. That was annoying. And with the heart symbols going down the length of the tight, I do like that, actually. Those are really nice. They've got little hearts on the back. Those are really, really nice. And you get these really quite nice shorts to go with it, which normally you don't get to see because they're hidden under the dress. And they've got this embroidery of a love heart on the buttocks, as you can see, on each pocket. Pocketed buttock pockets. I don't want to put something in there. I think I put a phone in one of these before, like an old phone, and I ended up breaking it because of obviously where the pocket is located. The shoes, whilst we're here, though, are absolutely fantastic. But Square Enix knows how to do a good shoe. I think most people will agree with that. These really nice low, sort of like medium heels. Nice sort of extended part for the heel there, quite like that. The buckle, and then the upside down love heart embroidery in red with brass buckle. That's going to look really nice with a mixture of different bits and pieces to make outfits with. Very nice. Apart from that, obviously, we have ourselves a hat. The hat is fairly unremarkable, to be honest. I do like the detail on this, like the love heart, this sort of cross-shaped pattern, the ribbon sort of design. It is just another bowler hat, isn't it, basically? We have similar ones in the game. It doesn't mean that this is any less good, though. Yeah, I quite like that. And then, obviously, we have the dress. Excuse my terrible inventory management. I think the dress is probably one of the things to take home from this. But that was always going to be the case. Most people squeed over this when they first saw it. I do like the embroidery on this. The lace is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's get my character to put her hands above her head again, so we can better see that lace. Oh, why are you doing this? Oh man, whatever, we'll just do it this way. So the cuffs there with the lace. Very nice. And the buttons. Lace is very difficult to do, especially on this sort of scale. So I think they've done a really good job. It is another ruffled dress, which is cool. But they've learnt from their mistakes with the Quaintrells of adding a ruffled skirt separate, because of the various clipping and turning off visibility things. It's just the nice details on this, isn't it? Like the clutch bag, or whatever you want to call that, handbag. And then there's the pendant on the side there with little tassels and a nice chain, and then a different kind of chain that's part of the outfit. It's just really nice. And I like this bit here with the lace around it. It's just a really nice outfit. So, yeah, let's have a look at the male outfit very briefly then, and then we'll go straight on to dyes after that. All right, here we are on my male Mikote alt, the male version of Meoni, as people always like to see. And it's basically the same situation, 4-piece, locked to males. It's just called the emissary's jacket rather than the dress, obviously. Emissary's bottoms, emissary's boots. I hope one day we get the ability to interchange this stuff between male and female, because quite clearly there are some really, really nice sets on display here. I really like the male version. I like the female version more, admittedly, but I don't think we should necessarily have the restrictions. I really like this jumper, this like cardigan underneath, because instead of going with lace, they've gone with embroidery for the chest piece, but with like a cardigan underneath and then a shirt. Quite like that, actually. And then this sort of like waistcoat thing. like a strap going around with a buckle. It's not bad, is it? We also, for some reason, have either a white mage sort of logo or whatever that's supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. On the legs there, like a key. People who like keys are going to be into that. I know a lot of people who love keys, actually, and just keys on gear and things they immediately flock to, so it wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, the legs are completely different, especially with these turn-ups. And the boots are different slightly. Although I would say the only difference for the boots is instead of having that red like outline of the heart, they have a black outline, which is going to make all the difference when it comes to dyes, right? Because it means that you're going to have that contrast with the main fabric, presumably, that leather. Yeah, I don't really understand why gender locks are a thing, but there we go. It is what it is. I quite like the jacket, though. I'm a bit unhappy. The hat, though, has no reason to be gender locked. I have absolutely no idea. And it's a slightly different thing. The ribbon is slightly less extravagant. And I quite like the gold sort of like buckle on it. I think that's quite nice. Yeah, not a clue. Anyway, let's put these side by side. I'll get my girlfriend in on this and we'll look at some dyes together. As you can see, though, side by side, these outfits do kind of match together. I still lean favorably towards the female outfit, but I guess I've got a slight sort of bias to that. Slight segue here then, a bit of extra footage because a lot of people will be asking this question, and I remembered to include it for once. Can Viera and wrothgar use the helm? I'm afraid the typical answer is no. No, they cannot. So this marks yet another seasonal event where I'd say the two newest races, but honestly they've been here long enough now, cannot use the helm from the outfit. Is it a big deal? I don't know really. Do you like bowler hats? That's going to be the question. But it does look really good, the dress, etc. on a Viera, especially there. But yeah, no hats, I'm afraid. So when it comes to dyes then, there are some glaring problems, most notably with the female attire, with the slight colour change with the bottom of the ruffled dress. This is something that does change the way that most dyes would normally look. Just for that female attire. On the male attire, it's less obvious, although you will notice the patches on both the shoulders have the same issue, and of course some of the other embroidery on the legs as well. But for the most part, it's the female attire that's going to have the biggest issue. It's not a massive issue as long as you use, dyes that complement those colors, but you are always going to get that kind of washed out, much darker color towards the midsection beyond on the dress itself than you are on the top of the dress. Of course, the other thing is that the undersection, both the cardigan on the male version and the underdress, let's call that, with just near the lace, that section doesn't dye, the lace doesn't dye, or any of the other emblems, and the hat is a slight disappointment because only the ribbon dyes. But at the end of the day, do I really want the whole of the bowler hat to dye? Probably not, right? I think most people are going to be satisfied with much darker colors. I myself probably will use jet black dye on the dress. It looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. I really, really like this outfit. I think that they've done a really good job. And it is the usual top tier quality that we're used to. I will say that whilst I didn't show the back of the characters' dye options, I didn't think it was necessarily worth it to spend another half hour doing that or more. But yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? The same problem is prevalent on the back as it is on the front, though. Anyway, let me know what you think about this year's event. What was your favorite thing? Do you think it was, worth your time? Did you enjoy the storyline? Let me know below, and I'll see you all next time. Much love.